Hello, I'm John Frausto with Topspin Tennis. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 magic moves for a better racket drop on your serve. Enjoy the video. So in the video, we have footage of Novak Djokovic shot at 240 frames per second. So a lot of detail with the video. Let's get right into the 3 magic moves. Magic move number 1, and I'm not going to look at the grip, the stance, any of that. We're really looking at how do we really get this racket head to drop as we accelerate up and to the ball. And the first thing, or first move I want you to be aware of is the grip. Notice Djokovic, how he has hardly any tension in the arm or in the body. So that grip, he's holding onto that racket enough to have some control, but it really is on a hinge here. I mean, there's just not a lot of tension. The racket's on a hinge. When he executes scissors move, so like a scissors here where the tossing arm goes up and that racket goes back, there's just not a lot of tension in this arm. So if you have a death grip before you're going to serve, this racket is not going to work very well for you, and it's not going to drop into the slot very well. So be mindful of that. When you conduct this scissors move, make sure there's not a lot of tension. Magic move number 2 is going to be setting that left side of the body. And this comes from my friends Chuck Tomlin and John Carpenter down in Atlanta. Love this technique where we set the left side of the body, and basically what that means is it's really the trophy pose, but if you're not getting into this signature position, you're going to struggle with getting that racket to drop into the slot. So let's go ahead and look at what setting the left side looks like. Notice the racket head is up. Notice the tossing arm. It actually goes beyond vertically. It actually gets it back, and that stretching like that is going to allow for more angular momentum and just more power, kind of like a slingshot. And then the other thing is just notice the bowing of his body here. So he's got great bowing with the body. So when we get into this setting of the left side, that racket head should be up, tossing arm is up, we're bowing, and then look at the loading position with those knees. So signature position here where we set this left side of the body. Let's go ahead and just watch it. I'll run it for you. Notice too, as he starts setting this left side of the body, notice how the momentum is going forward. You can see his weight kind of leaning into the court. He also tosses this ball into the court as well. So when he launches, he's not going to launch vertically. He's actually going to launch out and into the court. So magic move number 2 is setting that left side, getting an ideal trophy pose. And then from here, I think this is the biggest key to getting that racket into the slot or to have it drop for you is when you launch. So notice the launch, there's the drop. Okay, so let's take it back. I want to show you this. Here's the top of his racket head. So let's put a line there. A lot of players aren't utilizing the kinetic chain in launching properly. So what you want to do is launch into the court, get into this setting of the left side, and when you launch, this is where we exchange the racket head from being in a vertical position, and when you launch, there's the drop. See how that drops into the slot? This is a signature position before we go up into the ball, is to get into this slot. You've got to start launching. A lot of you are not launching up and into the court. So once we launch and we turn, that's when that racket head's going to drop into this slot. Djokovic is known for being limber and very flexible. Look at this position. The other thing I want you to know, look at his hand position compared to his elbow. That's almost like freakish as far as, I can't tell you how hard that is to do. Is he thinking about dropping that racket or dropping that hand below his elbow? Absolutely not. This happens naturally because the flexibility he has in his shoulder and just how limber he is. Federer does not. I'll show you a video of Federer. He does not get his hand below his elbow. So my point being is, should that hand be below that elbow on the serve? Sure, right? I mean, if you can do it, that's great. But a lot of it has to do with the flexibility. I've often talked about different strokes for different folks. Many of you probably can get into this position. Many of you can't. I'm not saying this is that you have to get here in order to have a successful serve. I actually ran the numbers on Federer. On Federer's first serve points won, he's won 88%. Djokovic over his career has won 85.7%. So Federer has won more of his first serves points than Djokovic, but Federer is not able to get his hand below his elbow. So I just want to point this out. I think Djokovic is kind of a freak of nature when it comes to being limber and flexible. He's able to do it. Federer doesn't. Do you have to? I'm not saying you have to, but just be aware of it, right? This is a position that he can get into. But magic move number 3 is when you launch, the launching motion will assist in getting that racket head to drop. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that like button, that subscribe button as well. Leave some comments below. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts on these 3 magic moves. What are you doing to get that racket into the slot? Are you thinking about it? Is it something that you're thinking in real time, or is it something that just happens with a good throwing motion? I played baseball back in the day. I feel like I've got a decent throwing motion. I've never thought about my hand getting below my elbow, but we are able to reference it at 240 frames per second. Thank you so much. Have a great day.